I never thought that this would happen to us, but it did. The date of the incident was July 23, 1994. I was just a normal boy living in California, enjoying the city life, partying, and occasionally drinking with friends, sometimes even indulging in drugs. One day, my friends invited me to a party held by the captain of the football team. Although I never really interacted with them much, my friends insisted that I tag along, so I decided to attend the party. I carefully dressed in my best outfit, a floral red shirt paired with ripped jeans. I also grabbed my glasses and straw hat, just for the occasion. At 9 p.m., Ray and Ollie arrived. Ray was a handsome young lad, always popular with the girls. And I still wonder why he's friends with us, while Ollie is a social butterfly, seemingly aware of everything happening around the school. I entered the car driven by Ray's older brother, Greg. Greg initially seemed like a douchebag, but he was actually kind towards the people he cared about, especially his brother Ray, although he didn't show it often. As Greg drove us to the party, he asked, "How long will the party last?" Ray replied, "I don't know, Greg. It might last the entire night." Greg sighed and said, "Just don't do anything stupid or try anything weird." Ray nodded, and the car fell silent for the rest of the journey. After we arrived at the party location and stepped outside, Greg advised us, "Keep your phones on. I might call at times, and don't do anything that I wouldn't do." With a smile, he drove off. The three of us exchanged smiles and then entered the party. The place was bustling with all kinds of people, students from various backgrounds, attractive individuals, and the class clown. It was lively. We went to a table, grabbed drinks, and began enjoying ourselves. After some dancing and fooling around, I noticed Ray was nowhere in sight. I turned to Ollie and asked, "Where's Ray?" Ollie pointed towards a lone phone booth surrounded by a group of people. After a while, Ray emerged from the booth, adjusting his clothes, followed by a flushed and breathless girl. Another couple entered the booth. I approached Ray and asked, "What's up?" "Man, you scored." He gave a cheeky grin and nodded. "You should try it, buddy," he said. "It's a game of random hookups while blindfolded. You might end up with a hot girl." I shook my head in refusal and went back to the table for another glass of wine. I stayed at the table, watching the booth, when I saw Ollie blindfolded and paired with the most unattractive girl at the party. I couldn't contain my laughter and started chuckling. A girl approached me and asked, "Hey, why are you laughing?" I pointed towards Ollie, and she joined in, saying, "Oh," and chuckled along. She suggested trying it without the blindfold. My expression turned blank, and I stuttered, asking her to repeat what she said. She gave a coy smile and leaned in, asking, "Wanna do it?" while pointing towards a door behind her. For a moment, my brain froze, but then I nodded and followed her. I reasoned that I wasn't particularly handsome, so why not seize the opportunity while I could? We entered a room filled with hay bales and other things. She motioned for me to come closer and sat beside her. With a raised eyebrow, she said, "You're a virgin, right?" "I can tell by how you act." I simply nodded. "Don't worry," she reassured me. "Tonight will be the hottest night you'll ever experience." She then unzipped my pants and pulled it down. She giving me a blowjob, which turned into an entire 2-hour session of making love. The moans that she made while I thrusted her was like music to my ears. After a while I filled her up completely and then she gave out the final moan. She said that she would lie on the hay for some time as she was tired and told me to return the party. Before leaving she gave me her number and then winked at me while I gave a final glance at her tired semen-drenched naked body. I then entered the main party room. Everyone had left by then except for 5 guys, including Ollie, Ray, myself, the host, and a random guy named George, along with 4 girls. Ray was kissing a girl, while Ollie lay buzzed on the ragged couch. I headed to the table for another shot of wine, but the host appeared out of nowhere and grabbed me, saying, "Brother, do you really want to drink something this week?" I was puzzled and asked, "What?" He suggested trying some good stuff and sprinkled white powder into my wine, urging me to drink it. He seemed odd, giggling as he spoke. I thought it wouldn't be dangerous since my friends were with me, so I drank it all at once. Suddenly, I felt like I was on cloud 9. All my stress disappeared, and everything felt amazing. Feeling alive, I started dancing. Ray and Ollie noticed and also asked for the same. Soon, everyone else followed suit, and we all got high. At this point, anything foolish seemed smart, and we did a lot of foolish things that seemed cool at the time. After a while, the host asked us to come to him, saying, "Let's play a game." Ray, curious, asked, "What game?" The host chimed, "Russian roulette." I said, "Isn't it dangerous?" He assured me the gun was fake and loaded with rubber bullets. Skeptical, I hesitated, but the effects of the drug clouded my judgment. He loaded the bullets into the barrel and spun it. I remained unsure, but Ali, placing his hand on my shoulder, said, "Come on, it's just a single bullet." I sighed and reluctantly agreed to join in this foolish game. The host, grinning, pulled the trigger first, teasingly giving me a "you little coward" look. Nothing happened. "I'm really lucky, haha," he exclaimed, passing it to George. Despite some initial fear, everyone else followed suit. Ray and Ali pulled the trigger without consequence. Then, it was my turn. I trembled with fear, imagining the worst. The host, tired of my overreaction, steadied my hand and pulled the trigger. For a moment, it felt like my spirit left my body, but then I returned to reality unharmed. I started laughing, though I still don't know why. We decided to re-roll and played another 5 rounds. In the 6th round, the host pulled the trigger again, but nothing happened. He then handed the gun to Ali, who also pulled the trigger without incident. It was once again my turn. With less fear, I pulled the trigger, and again, nothing happened. I then handed the gun to the host for the final round, saying, "I'll be right back." The host nodded, replying, "Okay then, I'll take my shot until you return." I ended up dozing off instantly after taking my final glass of wine and slept soundlessly the entire night. In the morning, I woke up to a girl's scream. I stood up immediately and looked at the source of the scream. It was the girl with whom I had hooked up that night. She had a horrifying look on her face and vomited on the floor. I walked up to her, worried, and asked her if she was okay. She did not have any words coming out of her mouth. She pointed in a direction while holding on to me. I looked in that direction, and it felt like something twisted in my stomach. I, too, started vomiting. I almost vomited on the girl who was still holding on to me. After that incident, nothing remained the same. The girl I was with had to be in a psych ward for 5 years after the incident. I, too, had to undergo years of therapy, and I am still undergoing it, as the therapist said it would be helpful for me. I still get nightmares about that incident, seeing the bodies of Ray and Ollie lying dead on the floor, blooded with remnants of brains and blood all over the walls and the couch. It was a very tragic event, and due to this, I have not touched drugs, much less alcohol, for years. But today, while writing this, I had to drink some, or else I would not have been able to write it. Anyway, today I will be having a school reunion party at my house. I hope it goes well. The writer shuts the book and takes out the same gun from the incident that he had kept as a reminder to never drink and inserts a single bullet into it. The single bullet, the final bullet that was meant for him. A loud noise echoes through the quiet neighborhood. The end.